So let's talk healthy hydration, water intake. A fascinating thing we see with patients is they will come in, they're drinking enough water throughout the day, but when we look at their symptoms and really what's going on with their physiology, they're still dehydrated. They're showing signs of dehydration or less than optimal hydration. And there is a lot of science behind this, and when you dig into it, it really starts to make a lot of sense. And the cause of somebody who could be drinking near enough water and still be dehydrated is there's an issue with their electrolytes, specifically sodium. Now, sodium is got a bad rap. We've been told it's not good for us. A lot of us have too much sodium in our diet if we're eating processed foods, but the electrolytes we want to get in balance are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. And they're vitally important for function, performance, but also just being healthy and really feeling good. So what I recommend for patients, if you're eating a semi-healthy diet, is that we add salt, sodium, and minerals to our water, like pink Himalayan sea salt. Actually, what we recommend, what we have in the clinic, is like a electrolyte mix. This is our preferred mix. It's called Element. You can order this online. You can, it's really taken off in popularity. They have a bunch of delicious flavors, but this is going to have sodium, potassium, and magnesium. And it's why it's brilliant is you drink it with the water, which is going to push the water as you bring it into your body. It's going to bring it further into the cell. Now, who this is so important for, a category of 3 people, this is vitally important for, that you're not just drinking water, that you're adding salt to your water, and you're adding an electrolyte mix. And I am these people. This is something I need. I do much better with salt water. So number 1 is if you sweat a lot. Sweat a lot when you exercise, maybe you sweat when you don't exercise. People are made differently. You can do a sweat study where they have you exercise and they'll measure the sweat and then the salt of your sweat if you want to get really technical. But I just know I sweat a lot. And if you're that type of person that you sweat more than your friends, or you sweat a lot, you're a very active person, you need to add electrolytes. You need to add salt to your water. And during the summer, you may need to do it multiple times a day to really be hydrated. The second group of individuals, and I also fall into this category right now because I have a 2-year-old son that is not sleeping. If you drink coffee, you are going to blow off your sodium. You are going to kick sodium out of your system. And this is, people say that caffeine or coffee is a diuretic. It is, but it's only a diuretic because it kicks sodium out and water follows sodium. So it's not truly a diuretic. It's that you're losing sodium, and then that's why you're losing water out of your system. 4 cups of coffee a day, 4 8-ounce cups, which is, a lot of people, that's the amount of coffee they will get in a day. That's pretty average for them. If you're looking at the reality of the measurements, that gets rid of your total daily sodium intake. That gets rid of 1,200 milligrams of sodium, and you're in a state of, even if you're drinking a lot of water, it's going to be hard to stay hydrated with that amount of coffee. So I am in that category as well. And then the third category is somebody who eats really healthy. If you eat a very good diet with very little processed food, this is what I try to adhere to, I'm not going to get a lot of the sodium that is coming into most people's diet, and I need to add that into my water. So I'm all 3 of these categories. I do great with this. I feel better. I would highly recommend giving this a try and doing it on a daily basis. Again, I recommend Element. There's some other good ones out there. Lastly, I want to just bring this up is if you have consistent migraines, if that's part of your clinical history that you do get migraines, we find with patients that they need to try a course of this for 60 days, adding electrolytes and sodium into their water every day for 60 days to see if that helps with migraines. And you would be blown away. Over 50% of the migraine patients we do this with, what we found out is they were drinking water, but they were getting a migraine and it was being triggered by not hydrating their system. They did have some dehydration, and that was a main trigger for them. Even though they were drinking enough water, they were having some coffee, they were exercising, they were not replenishing those electrolytes, and they weren't really hydrated. So I hope this sheds some light on this subject. Salt is not bad for you. Do not blame salt for what sugar is doing, which is causing high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease, that's not coming from salt, that's coming from sugar. So hope this was helpful, guys. Let us know if you have any questions.